Today's lecture is Anatomy of the Internal Carotid Artery, and I'm Dr. Sadia. The internal carotid artery, it begins at the bifurcation of the common carotid artery. As we know that this is the common carotid artery, and this is an external carotid artery, and this is an internal carotid artery. So, external and internal carotid arteries, these are the terminal branches of the common carotid artery. And common carotid artery on the right side, this is the branch of the brachiocephalic trunk. On the left side, this is the direct branch of the arch of aorta. So at the level of upper border of the thyroid cartilage, it bifurcates, the common carotid artery bifurcates into an external carotid artery and internal carotid artery. Internal carotid artery supplies the brain, the eye, the forehead, and the part of the nose. Artery ascends in the neck, embedded in the carotid sheath, with the internal jugular vein and the vagus nerve. You people know that the three structures which are in the carotid sheath, one is the common carotid artery and its branches, and other is the vagus nerve, and third is the internal jugular vein. So it leaves the neck by passing the cranial cavity through the carotid canal and the petrous part of the temporal bone. So this internal carotid artery has no branches in the neck, and it passes through the carotid canal, which is in the petrous part of the temporal bone inside the skull. And in the inside the skull, it gives the central and cortical branches to the brain, and it also supplies the eyeball and the retina. So this is a very important artery, and it passes through the cavernous sinus. We will discuss how it will come out through the petrous part of the temporal bone and passes through the cavernous sinus and gives the ophthalmic artery, middle cerebral artery, and anterior cerebral artery. So it passes through the cavernous sinus, leaves the sinus by passing medial to the anterior clinoid process. Because these are the anterior clinoid processes, and this is the internal carotid artery. It passes through the cavernous sinus, then this is the cut edge of the internal carotid artery, and it gives a branch, that is ophthalmic artery, which passes through an optic canal, and another branch is there, those are the terminal branches like middle cerebral artery and the anterior cerebral artery. So artery is medial to the anterior clinoid process and lateral to the optic chiasma. So this is an optic chiasma. So it leaves the sinus passing through medial to the anterior clinoid process, lateral to the optic chiasma by dividing into the anterior and the middle cerebral arteries. It has no branches in the neck. Many important branches given in the skull. So what it gives the cortical and central branches. So what is the meaning of cortical branches and the central branches? Cortical branches actually given by the internal carotid artery at the surface of the brain, and central branches, it supplies the nuclei or the masses of the gray matter inside the brain, and it also supplies the internal capsule. So this is the difference between the cortical branches and the central branches, and this is an internal carotid artery which is passes through the cavernous sinus. So this is an internal carotid artery. In this picture, passes through the cavernous sinus. This is a image of the cranial cavity. This is on optic chiasma. This is cut edge of the internal carotid artery. This is ophthalmic artery, and this is the cavernous sinus. So these are the anterior clinoid processes. So it is medial to the anterior clinoid process and lateral to the optic chiasma. And these are the middle cerebral arteries, and here is the anterior cerebral arteries are present. It also gives this ophthalmic artery will give the central retinal artery, and other arteries that are given by the internal carotid, that is the posterior communicating, which joins the posterior cerebral arteries, and the posterior cerebral arteries are the branches of the vertebral arteries, and it also give the anterior choroidal arteries, which actually contributes in the formation of choroid plexus in the lateral ventricle and the third ventricle. So, so this is a circle of Willis. This is present in the subarachnoid space. These are the anterior cerebral arteries. These are the middle cerebral arteries. These are the posterior communicating arteries. These are the posterior cerebral arteries, and this is the basilar artery. So vertebral arteries, these are the branches of the subclavian arteries. At the lower border of the pons is they join with each other and forms the basilar artery, and basilar artery then terminates in the posterior cerebral artery. So this is the circle of Willis. One of the artery is blocked in the circle of Willis, so the blood bypass the blocked arteries and supply the area of blocked artery. So due to this anastomosis, the deficiency will not occur in any part of the brain. Sometimes this middle cerebral artery, which is very important, supply the most of the motor area, will it will block. Then what happen? A patient suffers from the जो है आपका paralysis on the contralateral side of the body, and also the sensory deficiency. So these are the relations of the internal carotid artery. Anteriorly, it is covered by the external carotid artery, stylopharyngeus muscle, glossopharyngeus muscle, and this is the styloglossus muscle or stylohyoid, or this is the pharyngeal branch of the vagus nerve. So these are the anterior relation. In posterior relations, we have a vertebral artery, the transverse process of cervical vertebra itself, and the prevertebral muscle. So these are the posterior relations of the internal carotid artery. And these are the medial relations in with the pharynx, the larynx, the trachea. So these are the medial relations of the internal carotid artery. In the lateral relations, we have a vagus nerve and internal jugular vein. And what are the branches? And the first branch is the ophthalmic artery. And ophthalmic artery arises from the internal carotid artery and it emerges from the cavernous sinus. When the internal carotid artery emerges through the cavernous sinus, it gives an ophthalmic artery, and this ophthalmic artery which passes with the optic nerve through the optic canal, and it also gives the central retinal artery of the retina. It passes forward in the orbital cavity through the optic canal, and it gives the central artery of the retina, which enters the optic nerve, which enters with the optic nerve and runs forward to the eyeball. So this is ophthalmic artery is the major supply of the eyeball, and it also gives the supraorbital and supratrochlear arteries, which also supply the forehead and part of the nose. So central artery of the retina is an end artery and the only blood supply of the retina. So this gives the anterior and posterior ciliary arteries which supply the another structures of the eyeball, and it also gives the central artery of the retina, which is the sole supply of the retina. When it is blocked, the patient has a visual impairment or the blindness of the eye. Posterior communicating artery, this artery actually joins the pair of internal carotid arteries to the vertebral arteries, and it backward joins with the posterior cerebral artery. And this posterior cerebral artery is the branch of vertebral artery. So this is an internal carotid artery, and this is an ophthalmic artery. OA matlab this is an ophthalmic artery, and this is an optic nerve. So it is moving with the optic nerve, ophthalmic artery, and it supplies the eyeball. So and this is a external carotid artery. This is an internal carotid artery. External carotid artery has terminal branches like maxillary, and this is superficial temporal. This is facial artery. To move forward, so we have discussed the two branches of the internal carotid artery, like ophthalmic artery, and the other is the posterior communicating artery. This is the anterior cerebral artery. This is a terminal branch of the internal carotid artery. It passes forward between the cerebral hemispheres. It actually present between the cerebral hemispheres. Then it winds round the corpus callosum of the brain to supply the medial surface of the brain and the very small strip of the superior lateral surface of the cerebral hemisphere. I will show you everything in a while. It is joined to the artery of the opposite side. That is these two anterior cerebral arteries joined with each other by the anterior communicating artery. So this is an anterior cerebral artery, terminal branch of the internal carotid artery. And what happened? These two runs between the two cerebral hemisphere, and the anterior cerebral artery wind rounds the corpus callosum, and it supplies the medial surface of the brain. And it also supplies a very small area that is in green, the superolateral upper margin of the superolateral surface. This is supplied by the anterior cerebral artery. Okay, so it is runs between the two cerebral hemisphere, winds rounds the corpus callosum, supplies the medial surface of the brain, and also supplies a very small area of the superolateral surface. And this is a middle cerebral artery, which is another terminal branch, and this is runs in the lateral sulcus of the brain, and it supplies the most of the lateral superolateral surface of the brain. Only a small area which is supplied by the anterior cerebral artery, and a very small area, the posterior occipital lobe and inferolateral surface, this is supplied by the posterior cerebral artery. But the whole of the superolateral surface, this is supplied by the middle cerebral artery. Major of the motor area of the brain is supplied by the middle cerebral artery. When it is blocked, it causes the paralysis of the contralateral side of the body. So this is a major supply of the brain, middle cerebral artery. So this is the anterior cerebral artery which winds around the corpus callosum, and this will give the central and cortical branches. Cortical branches over the surface of the brain, and central branches goes inside the brain and supply the nuclei masses of the gray matter or the internal capsule. So whenever the this branch of the middle cerebral artery is blocked, which is running in a lateral sulcus, what happened? It So this middle cerebral artery running in the lateral sulcus of the brain, what happens? When it is blocked, it causes the major loss of blood supply of the brain. Motor area, actually major motor area is lost. Is this middle cerebral artery supplies is the major area of the motor area, and all the motor area is supplied by the middle cerebral artery. Only the leg area is supplied by the anterior cerebral artery. Move forward. So this is again the picture of circle of Willis, vertebral arteries. At the lower border of the pons, it becomes the basilar artery. Then this is the posterior cerebral artery, which is the branch of the basilar artery or the vertebral arteries. And the two vertebral arteries join with the branches of the internal carotid. So this is middle cerebral artery. This is posterior communicating artery. Posterior communicating joins the two internal carotid artery or a pair of internal carotid arteries to the posterior cerebral artery or the vertebral arteries. Move forward. The middle cerebral artery, which we have discussed, it is the largest branch of the internal carotid artery. It runs laterally in the lateral cerebral sulcus of the brain. So it runs in the lateral cerebral sulcus. This is very important. It supplies the lateral surface of the cerebral hemisphere, entire lateral surface, except a small area which is supplied by the anterior cerebral, and a very small area like occipital pole and inferolateral surface is supplied by the posterior cerebral. The whole of the motor cortex is supplied by the middle cerebral except the leg area. It supplies the entire lateral surface of the cerebral hemisphere except the narrow strip of superolateral margin supplied by the anterior cerebral artery, occipital pole, and the inferolateral surface of the hemisphere supplied by the posterior cerebral artery, as we discussed later. And middle cerebral artery supplies all the motor area of the brain. I already explained that this supplies the all the motor area except the lag area, which gives the central branches to supply the central masses of the gray matter and internal capsule of the brain. So it supplies the masses of the gray matter, and it supplies the all of the motor area of the brain except the lag area. The leg area is supplied by the anterior cerebral, and otherwise the whole of the motor area is supplied by the middle cerebral. So this is the middle cerebral artery. Okay, it supplies the whole of the motor area except the leg area, which is at the upper margin of the superolateral surface. So this is the middle cerebral artery, and which is running in the lateral sulcus of the brain. And this is a posterior cerebral artery. Occipital pole and inferolateral surface supplies tips of the posterior cerebral artery. Very small area supplied by the occipital pole and inferolateral surface by the posterior cerebral artery. So what is circle of Willis? Circle of Willis lies in the subarachnoid space at the base of the brain, and it is formed by the anastomosis between the branches of the two internal carotid, pair of internal carotid along with the joints with the pair of vertebral arteries. So the and Beta, this is posterior communicating. This is not anterior communicating. The posterior communicating, which is the branch of which is the branch of internal carotid, posterior cerebral, which is the branch of vertebral artery, and the basilar formed by the junction of the two vertebral arteries are all arteries contribute to the circle. Here is the posterior communicating, because the posterior communicating joins the pair of internal carotid artery to the vertebral arteries. So cortical and central branches, I already described the difference between the cortical and central branches. Cortical present over the surface of the brain, and the central branches actually supply the internal structures of the brain. The idea masses of the gray matter and internal capsule arise from the circle and supply the brain. And whenever the small artery blocked due to the erythrosclerosis or due to any cause, what happened, the due to the anastomosis of this circle of Willis, that blocked artery is actually bypassed and the area of blocked artery is supplied. So this anastomosis is very helpful because it actually prevents the instant blockage of the artery, and it covers the small blockage of the small arteries and prevents the damage in the brain. So this is a picture of the circle of Willis. This is anterior cerebral artery. This is the middle cerebral artery. This is a posterior communicating, which actually joins the pair of internal carotid arteries to the vertebral artery. This is posterior communicating artery, and this is a basilar artery. This is a terminal branch of the basilar artery, that is posterior cerebral artery, posterior communicating artery, and these are the two vertebral arteries which join at the lower border of the pons and forms the basilar artery. So this is circle of Willis is present in the subarachnoid space, and so it actually joins the pair of internal carotid arteries to the pair of vertebral arteries. So um, extensive arteriosclerosis of the internal carotid artery in the neck can cause the visual impairment. Because the central artery of the retina is an end artery, and when it blocks, it causes the visual impairment, blindness in the eye, and because of the insufficient flow to the retinal artery. And whenever the middle cerebral artery get blocked, the motor paralysis and the sensory loss may occur on the opposite side of the body because of the insufficient blood flow through the middle cerebral. Middle cerebral is a major blood supply, and it actually supplies the whole of the motor cortex. So that's why it is very, very important. Thank you so much.